Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. India-US strategic partnership gets a renewed push as US Secretary of State Marco Rubio and External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar hold talks in New Delhi with both leaders underlining shared strategic interests. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio says significant progress made in US-Iran talks to end war signals possibility of good news on Strait of Hormuz. Russia hits Ukraine with Oreshnik missile in one of war's biggest attacks on Kiev. Zelensky says there must be consequences for Russia. And 24 killed in blast near railway track in Pakistan's Balochistan province targeting military personnel. Baloch Liberation Army claims responsibility. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who is currently on a visit to India, held bilateral talks with External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar at the Hyderabad House in New Delhi on Sunday. The leaders exchanged views on key regional and global developments, including the situation in West Asia. Both leaders reaffirmed the strength of the India-US strategic partnership and outlined key areas of cooperation, including defense, strategic technologies, trade and investment, energy, mobility, regional security, connectivity, education, and people-to-people ties are high on agenda. In the opening remarks of the bilateral talks with US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar lauded the India-US Comprehensive Global Strategic Partnership. He called the India-US relationship a tie that impacts and influences other regions of the world.
A comprehensive global strategic partnership, which I think in plain language means that we have a very deep, very broad-based cooperation and a relationship that impacts and influences other regions and the world. And that is because we have converging interests on many issues and in many parts of the world.
India and the United States reaffirmed their strategic partnership during high-level bilateral talks held in New Delhi. Summing up what transpired at the bilateral talks, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar and US Secretary of State Marco Rubio held a joint press briefing. Dr. Jaishankar said the India-US strategic partnership stemmed from a convergence of national interests across multiple areas, while US Secretary of State Marco Rubio described India as one of the most important strategic partners for the United States, saying both countries shared common values and aligned interests.
Political understanding between India and the United States. I think we have a strategic partnership which emanates from a convergence of national interests in many areas. Yesterday, during the Secretary's call on the Prime Minister, some global and regional issues were discussed. And in our subsequent meeting at the embassy, we took up developments pertaining to West Asia, Middle East, to the Indian subcontinent and to East Asia. I also shared with him some impressions I had of my recent visit to the Caribbean. Our talks today over lunch will focus on the latest developments in the Gulf. As you all know, few things have happened or seem to be happening overnight, and also on the Ukraine conflict.
That a strategic partnership is when your interests as two nations are aligned and you work together strategically to solve those problems. And the list of issues that we work together with India on, the breadth and scope of them, is what highlights the fact that India is an important strategic partner of the United States, one of our most important strategic partners in the world. It begins with the fact of our shared values. We are the two largest democracies in the world. And so obviously that in and of itself begins to align our interests simply because our leaders respond directly to voters and people on a regular basis.
Secretary Marco Rubio also said on the issue of the Strait of Hormuz that this is an international waterway not owned by Iran and warned that threatening commercial vessels there violates international law.
This is an international waterway. They don't own it. It's an international waterway, and what they are doing now is basically they are threatening to destroy commercial vessels using an international waterway. That is illegal under any concept of international law that governs us, but it's also if we allowed that to become normal, we would be normalizing an unacceptable status quo and setting a dangerous precedent that could be replicated here in this region and in multiple places around the world.
U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio met India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval on Sunday. The discussions focused on defense, security and strategic technology cooperation between the two countries. The conversations also covered the Trust Initiative and reaffirmed the importance of the India-US Comprehensive Global Strategic Partnership. Both leaders also exchanged views on key regional and global developments during the meeting. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio on Sunday said that United States and Iran could strike a deal to end the West Asia conflict as early as Sunday, while Tehran insisted the agreement would do nothing to limit its nuclear program.
Iran situation, there'll be, I believe, maybe more news coming out a little bit later today on this topic, and I'll leave it to the President to make further announcements on it. Suffice it to say that some progress has been made, significant progress, although not final progress has been made.
Speaking to media in New Delhi, Secretary Rubio said more news could come on a deal with Iran later in the day, and there was a possibility of good news on the Strait of Hormuz within hours.
We've made some progress over the last 48 hours working with our partners in the Gulf region on an outline that could ultimately, if it succeeds, leave us not just with a completely open straits, and I mean open straits without tolls. Over the next few hours, the world will get some good news, at least with regards to the straits and with regards to a process that can ultimately leave us where the President wants us to be, and that is a world that no longer has to be in fear or worry about an Iranian nuclear weapon.
Washington and Tehran have observed a ceasefire since April 8, while mediators push for a negotiated settlement, although Iran has imposed controls on Gulf shipping and the U.S. has blockaded Iran's ports. This came after U.S. President Donald Trump posted on social media that the deal has been largely negotiated, subject to finalization between the United States of America, the Islamic Republic of Iran, and the various other countries. Iranian officials confirmed the existence of a draft agreement but stressed that, contrary to earlier long-standing U.S. demands, talks on the issue of Iran's contested nuclear program have been deferred for 60 days after any deal. Russia's defense ministry has confirmed the use of the nuclear-capable Oreshnik missile in a massive overnight strike on Ukraine in one of the most intense aerial attacks so far. The strikes hit the city of Bilaterskva in the Kiev region on Sunday, killing at least 4 people and leaving hundreds injured. The Russian Defense Ministry stated that the strikes were carried out as a retaliation for the recent Ukrainian strikes on civilian infrastructure inside Russian territory. According to Ukrainian authorities, Russia launched nearly 90 missiles and over 600 drones during the strikes, with air defense systems intercepting 55 missiles and 549 drones. Moscow said the strikes involved Oreshnik ballistic missile, Iskander air-launched ballistic missiles, Kinzhal hypersonic missiles, Zircon cruise missiles, along with a large wave of drones. In Pakistan, a blast targeting a train carrying military personnel killed at least 24 people on Sunday in the turbulent southwestern province of Balochistan. According to officials, army servicemen were among the victims of the attack in the provincial capital Quetta, which wounded more than 50 people. The attack, which was claimed by Baloch Liberation Army militant group, was branded a cowardly act of terrorism by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif. The local official said the train carrying army personnel and their family members was going from Quetta to Peshawar in Pakistan's northwest. The train was passing a signal at Chaman Patak in Quetta when an explosive-laden car hit one of the carriages that resulted in a big blast. The group, which the United States has designated a terrorist organization, said it had targeted military installations as well as police and civil administration officials in gun attacks and suicide bombings. The BLA has intensified attacks on Pakistanis from other provinces working in the region in recent years, as well as foreign energy firms. The Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo is rapidly worsening, with the death toll climbing to 204 from 867 suspected cases across 3 provinces. Health officials warn that ongoing conflict and insecurity in eastern DR Congo are severely hampering efforts to contain the virus. The WHO has declared the outbreak an international emergency, while the Africa CDC says 10 African countries are now at risk of spread, including Uganda, Rwanda, Kenya and South Sudan. Uganda has confirmed 3 new cases, taking the toll, in fact, to 5 infections, including 1 death, as cross-border transmission raises alarm in the region. Aid agencies are also reporting casualties among frontline workers. The Red Cross says 3 volunteers in Ituri province died after unknowingly being exposed to the virus during humanitarian operations. Health authorities are now appealing for urgent funding and improved security, warning that without rapid action, the outbreak could spiral further across Central and Eastern Africa. In view of the evolving situation in the Democratic Republic of the Congo due to the Ebola outbreak and other affected countries, and in line with WHO's recommendations, Government of India advises all Indian citizens to avoid non-essential travel to the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Uganda and South Sudan until further notice. Indian citizens currently residing in or traveling to these countries are advised to strictly follow public health guidance issued by local authorities and maintain heightened precautions. India has not reported any case of Ebola disease caused by the Bundibugyo virus strain. India dispatched the first tranche of urgent medical supplies and protective kits to African Union today. India is committed to support Africa in responding to the emerging Ebola public health emergency. A gunman was shot and killed by U.S. Secret Service agents after opening fire near the White House on Saturday evening. The confrontation occurred near the White House security perimeter when the suspect allegedly pulled a weapon from a bag and began firing. Secret Service officers returned fire, striking the gunman, who was later pronounced dead at a hospital. No law enforcement personnel were injured in the exchange. US President Donald Trump was inside the White House at the time but was not affected by the incident. The area was quickly sealed off as security forces, including National Guard troops, responded and cordoned the scene. The incident adds to a series of security-related scares in the US. In a post on Truth Social, Trump lauds Secret Service response, pushes for secure space after shooting near White House. Trump also called for building the most safe and secure space of its kind ever built in Washington, D.C. Let's take a look at the other stories making news around the world. A special course launched by the Bitlis municipality in Turkey aims to revive a 5,000-year-old weaving tradition. The ancient craft has drawn strong interest from local residents eager to learn that rare technique, which involves weaving together finely processed pieces of wood by hand. Recognized for its colorful festivals, serene landscapes and budget-friendly places, Vietnam has bagged the title of most attractive holiday destination in Asia. As per the Australian travel writer known as Cheyenne Bradley for luxury escapes, Vietnam ranked 6th in a list of 12 global destinations recommended for summer 2026 travel. Amsterdam has banned fat bikes in parts of the city and major public parks. While these trendy bikes have become a popular mode of transport, their high speeds reaching up to 60 km/h have raised safety concerns among authorities. Citing risks to public mobility and pedestrian movement around roads and parks, officials have imposed fines of up to €115 on riders violating the rules. And still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh inaugurates a private sector defence manufacturing complex in Maharashtra. And severe heatwave tightens grip across India. You're watching DD India Live. I am Siddharth Bharadwaj. Aligning with the India's Make in India, Self-Reliant and Make for the World initiatives, India is rapidly heading towards being the self-reliant country in defence manufactures. DD India's Yogesh Kumar Sheetal reports.
India inaugurated a major indigenous artillery shell manufacturing facility in Ahilyanagar district of Maharashtra on Saturday, marking a significant step towards boosting indigenous defense production. The facility, which has been set up with an investment of 1,000 crore rupees and spread across 200 acres, has the capacity to manufacture up to 5,155 mm artillery shells annually, making it the largest private sector unit of its kind in India. On this occasion, Union Defence Minister Rajnath Singh said that India will emerge as the biggest exporter of arms in another 2 decades, with strong commitment on Make in India.
जो देश अपने हथियार खुद बनाता है, वही देश अपनी तकदीर भी खुद लिखता है। साथियों, अब दुश्मनों को जवाब हमारी सेना देगी और ताकत हमारे ये कारखाने देंगे, और हमारी सोच का नतीजा आज सबके सामने है। आज स्थिति यह है साथियों कि विदेशी कंपनियां भी हमसे जुड़ना चाहती हैं, फॉरेन कंपनीज भी हमारे साथ जुड़ना चाहती हैं, हमारे साथ टेक्नोलॉजी ट्रांसफर व करना चाहती हैं, यानी कि हम डिफेंस सेक्टर में मजबूती के साथ अपनी पहचान बना रहे हैं, और केवल अपनी पहचान बना नहीं रहे हैं बल्कि अपनी पहचान को बढ़ा भी रहे हैं।
The project has been completed within a year and is based entirely on indigenous technology and raw materials. The complex will also house manufacturing units for rocket launchers, long-range rocket components, drones and electronic testing systems, further strengthening the country's defense production ecosystem. Chief of Defense Staff General Anil Chauhan underlined the changing dynamics of traditional battlefield.
आज की सभा में बैठे हुए लोगों में काफ़ी लोग को ये एहसास होगा कि युद्ध कला और युद्ध पद्धति, इन तीनों में बहुत तेज़ी से परिवर्तन हो रहा है। मॉडर्न वॉरफेयर आज केवल मैन पावर, कन्वेंशनल वेपन्स या प्लेटफॉर्म सेंट्रिक ऑपरेशंस पर आधारित नहीं है। आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, रोबोटिक्स, साइबर सिस्टम्स, ड्रोन्स, ऑटोनोमस प्लेटफॉर्म्स, स्पेस टेक्नोलॉजीज, प्रिसिशन स्ट्राइक वेपन्स, इंफॉर्मेशन डोमिनेंस भविष्य के बैटलफील्ड को एक निर्णायक रूप दे रहे हैं।
This facility will focus on manufacturing explosives such as TNT, RDX and HMX, with an annual production capacity of 20,000 tons of TNT, which is expected to be among the largest in both government and private sectors. Importantly, Indian defense exports increased from less than 1,000 crore rupees in 2014 to 38,424 crore rupees in 2025-26 fiscal year, and India now exports defense equipment to more than 80 countries. Indian defense production rose from around 46,000 crore rupees in 2014-15 to over 1.5 lakh crore rupees by fiscal year 2024-25, with major boost to indigenous production.
India is steadily reducing dependence on defense import. With advanced indigenous technology, the country is not only creating a robust infrastructure in defense sector, but also ensuring national interest. With my colleague, I'm Yogesh Kumar Sita, reporting from Maharashtra for DD India.
Locals in border villages of India's West Bengal have expressed immense relief and happiness over commencement of India-Bangladesh border fencing works. Villagers in the area are largely enthusiastic and lauded the newly elected BJP-led government in the state for expediting the border fencing works just days after government formation. They alleged that their long-pending wish of border fencing was suppressed by previous TMC government due to vote bank politics that allowed Bangladeshi infiltration into Indian territory. CM Shwendu Adhikari announced that the necessary land will be handed over to the BSF within 45 days.
ये अच्छा काम किया तो जो नया सरकार वेस्ट बंगाल गवर्नमेंट हुआ तो वो जो सीमांतो इलाका का जो आदमी है उसका सपना पूर्ण हो रहा है तो ये जो पहले सरकार है वो तो घुसपैठिया का मदद कर सकता है वो हाँ और वो तो वोट बैंक मान रहा है
अच्छा कह रहा है ये बहुत दिन बंद था और जो पिछले जो सरकार था वो तो ज़मीन देने से मना कर रहा था तो नया सरकार वादा किया था जो सरकार आने के बाद ये फेंसिंग का काम शुरू हो जाएगा तो सरकार डिसीजन लिया 45 डेज़ के अंदर ये जमीन जो अधिग्रहण का काम चल रहा है वो ख़त्म करके वो फेंसिंग का काम टोटल ख़त्म कर देंगे.
Severe heat wave conditions continue to grip several parts of the country. India's weather agency has issued a red alert for severe heat wave conditions in eastern Madhya Pradesh, eastern Uttar Pradesh and Vidarbha on Sunday. The agency further added that heat wave conditions are likely to persist over Punjab, Rajasthan, western Uttar Pradesh, western Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, Odisha and Telangana over the next 2 to 3 days. The national capital, Delhi, is also expected to witness intense heat on Sunday. The maximum temperature is likely to remain between 43 and 45 degrees Celsius, while the minimum temperature is expected to hover between 27 and 29 degrees Celsius. Meanwhile, Rajasthan continues to reel under extreme heat wave conditions. Jaisalmer recorded a maximum temperature of 45.9 degrees Celsius on Saturday, while temperatures in most cities across the state remained above 41 degrees Celsius. The agency has forecast a further rise of 2 to 3 degrees Celsius in temperatures across Rajasthan from Sunday, with heat wave to severe heat wave conditions likely in some areas. Bangladesh has reported 16 more deaths linked to measles-like symptoms in the last 24 hours, taking the total death toll this year to 528. The country also recorded more than 1,300 new suspected cases, while confirmed measles infections since March have crossed 8,600. UNICEF says vaccine shortages and delays in procurement disrupted immunization efforts and worsened the crisis. Bangladesh has now resumed vaccine procurement through UNICEF and launched emergency vaccination drives nationwide. Time now for some sports news. India's men's 100 meters national record was broken 3 times in just 2 days at the Federation Cup in Ranchi, created a thrilling battle between Gurinder Singh and Animesh Kujur. Gurinder Veer first broke the record with a timing of 10.17 seconds in the semi-final, bettering Animesh's earlier mark of 10.18 seconds. But Animesh quickly responded in the next semi-final, clocking 10.15 seconds to reclaim the national record. In the final on Saturday, Gurinder Veer produced a sensational run of 10.09 seconds, becoming the first Indian athlete to finish below the 10.10 second mark. Animesh finished second in the final with a time of 10.2 seconds. India's Sports Minister Mansukh Mandavia congratulated sprinter Gurinder Veer Singh for his triumph in the 100-meter sprint. He wrote on social media platform X, and I quote, 10.09 seconds. Gurinder Veer Singh, you have rewritten history. The entire nation is incredibly proud of you. By clocking 10.09 seconds to become the first Indian to break the 10.1 second barrier, Gurinder Veer Singh set a new national record. The historic performance officially cemented his qualification for both the 2026 Commonwealth Games in Glasgow and the Asian Games in Japan. Iran will base their World Cup squad in the Mexican border city of Tijuana after FIFA approved a request to relocate their training camp from Arizona in United States. Iran Soccer Federation president stated the move avoids ongoing visa complications by enabling the squad to fly directly to Mexico via Iran Air. Iran are scheduled to play all three of their group matches in the United States, though tensions in West Asia had left their participation up in the air. The tournament, co-hosted by US, Mexico and Canada, will begin on June 11. Iran will open their campaign against New Zealand on June 15. That's all for this edition of DD India Live, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Prasar Bharati from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.